Hi. I'm Ethan, 32, and 3 hours after burying my mom, the woman I was supposed to marry leaned across my aunt's kitchen island, smiled, and said, "Finally! Now we can sell her house and use the money for our wedding." Yeah. That sentence detonated my entire life. But let me pull you into the moment the way it actually happened, because it wasn't a quiet little slip-up. It was a grenade dropped in a room full of grieving people. My mom's funeral had just ended. 4 months from diagnosis to gone. I hadn't even figured out how to breathe normally again. People were gathered in my aunt's house afterward, 40 of them, sharing stories, crying, hugging each other like they were afraid to let go. And then there was Vanessa. 29. Gorgeous. Charismatic. And apparently capable of looking at my mother's freshly filled grave and seeing a down payment on floral arches and catered risotto. She'd been checking her phone during the reception, scrolling like she was waiting for a Sephora delivery. I noticed, but grief does this fun thing where everything feels underwater, so I let it go. Then someone, my cousin I think, asked me what I planned to do with Mom's house. Before I even inhaled, Vanessa jumped in like she was auditioning for Shark Tank. "Finally, now we can sell it and use the money for our wedding. I found this venue. It's $85,000 for everything, but it's perfect. This is like perfect timing. Perfect timing." I swear the entire kitchen turned into a photograph. Silent. Frozen. People mid-sip, mid-step, mid-tear. My sister's face crumpled. My aunt's jaw clenched so hard I thought she might bite through her tongue. My uncle, who's been a cop for 28 years, did that little jaw twitch he reserves for drunk guys who spit at him. And Vanessa? Just kept smiling. Like she'd announced the weather. I didn't yell. Didn't cry. Didn't rage. I just said, "Get out." She blinked like I was the unreasonable one. "Baby, don't be dramatic." "No. Leave. No, you're grieving and not thinking straight. Someone has to be the rational one here." My uncle stepped up with full police officer energy. "Ma'am. You need to leave. Now." She turned on me. "Are you seriously letting him do this? Over me being practical?" No one moved. I didn't say a word. I didn't need to. My uncle took her gently but firmly by the elbow and walked her out while she screeched like someone had unplugged her from Wi-Fi. When the door shut, my dad's screw-up brother muttered, "Well, dodged a bullet there, kid." And that was the only laugh in the room. I walked outside and sat on the porch. Stared at nothing. Couldn't think. Couldn't cry. And I had no idea that was only the beginning. By midnight, my phone was vibrating like it owed Vanessa money. First text. "Baby, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it like that." 15 minutes later. "You're being ridiculous. We need to talk about our future." 20 minutes after that. "And what about the house? We need to make decisions." I blocked her and fell asleep in my childhood bedroom. The same room with the peeling glow-in-the-dark stars Mom insisted I was too old for at 14. Somehow, that room felt more like home than the person I'd planned to marry. The next morning, grief hit in a different way, the practical kind. My siblings and I were at Mom's house sorting through her things. Clothes. Books. Photos. You think you're prepared to do that. You're not. Every object feels like it's daring you not to fall apart. We were knee-deep in memories when the pounding started. Not knocking. Not polite. Hammering. My brother opened the door. "Vanessa." She tried to shoulder past him like she was storming a castle. "I need to talk to him. This is ridiculous." My sister stepped into the doorway like an Amazonian bouncer. "You're not welcome here. I'm his fiancée." My sister didn't blink. Not anymore. When I appeared, Vanessa snapped into fake compassion so fast it was almost impressive. "Baby, please, I'm sorry if what I said came out wrong. You're not thinking clearly because of grief. Stop talking. We need to discuss the wedding. The venue needs a deposit by next week. There is no wedding." Her face did this thing, like her humanity got unplugged. Expression off. Expression back on. But colder. Don't be stupid. You're upset. I get it. But we're not throwing away 2 years because I was being realistic. I stared at her. You called my mom's death perfect timing. At her funeral. In front of 40 people. She opened and shut her mouth like a fish that failed improv class. Nothing. Leave, I said. We're done. She straightened. Fine. Keep the stupid house. But I want my ring back. That's an $8,000 diamond. You're not keeping it if you're going to act like this. It was almost funny. Almost. I went to my car, grabbed the ring from the glove box, walked back, and tossed it at her feet. There. Now get lost. And listen, the way she scrambled to grab it? Like a raccoon spotting a dropped Twinkie. Not elegant. Not tragic. Just feral. She stormed off, tires screeching down the street like she was being chased by every bad decision she'd ever made. My brother looked at me. Dude, what did you ever see in her? I didn't have an answer. Not one that made me feel good about myself. She'd made the decisions. Planned the future. Controlled everything. I mistook that for support. Turns out it was just control. And unfortunately, the universe wasn't done proving that point yet. This is where everything stopped being a breakup and turned into a full-blown psychological tornado wearing mascara and entitlement. 2 days after the scene at Mom's house, my phone rang again, this time from an unknown number. Vanessa's mother. And let me tell you, if entitlement had a spokesmodel, this woman would be on the billboard. You're making a huge mistake, she snapped immediately. My daughter loves you. Your daughter said my mom dying was perfect timing. She didn't mean it like that. You're being cruel. She's devastated. About losing me? Or losing access to a $280,000 house? Silence. Then yelling. I hung up and blocked her too. I thought, foolishly, that maybe this was the last wave. But no. A wedding planner called the next morning. Hi, Ethan. So, your ex-fiancée is calling me nonstop and wants me to bill you for the cancellation fees. Says you inherited money so you can afford it. I just stared at the wall. She continued. Also, she tried to keep your wedding date. And, asked if she could just change the groom's name. I swear my soul stepped out of my body, folded its arms, and said, This woman needs Wi-Fi and supervision. She what? Oh yeah? 3 times. Then you told her no. She's now demanding a refund and threatening to leave bad reviews. I've been doing this 15 years, never seen anything like it. That should have been the moment I realized Vanessa was not grieving a relationship, she was grieving a business venture. But the universe had receipts. Literal ones. Later that day, her best friend, who I'd always considered the only sane person in Vanessa's orbit, asked to meet for coffee. She looked nervous, like she was about to admit she'd eaten the last donut at the office. I'm only telling you this because everything exploded, she whispered. But Vanessa has been talking about your mom's house for months. I blinked. Months? As in, before your mom even got sick. She sucked in a breath. She kept saying the house would eventually be yours and she could sell it or rent it for passive income. She already had plans. Spreadsheets. Colors picked out for renovations. My stomach dropped. And when your mom got diagnosed, she said it was sad but kind of convenient because the housing market is good right now. I nearly blacked out. Oh, and she said that line once before. The perfect timing thing. I didn't think she'd actually say it out loud, like that. I went home shaking. And then grief, real grief, hit like a wave I wasn't braced for. I ended up going through Mom's desk to distract myself. Papers, coupons, old birthday cards. And then, a letter. Dated 2 weeks before she died. Addressed to me. In her handwriting. I opened it. And her voice filled the room. Sweetheart, if you're reading this, I'm gone. She wrote about Vanessa. About how she tried to like her. About how Vanessa only talked about money, houses, renovations, future stuff, not about me. And then, a woman who loves you cares about you, not what you can give her. Please make sure she loves you, not your inheritance. I love you so much. Mom. I cried harder than I did at the funeral. Not because of Vanessa. Because even dying, my mom was still trying to protect me. And I had no idea that her warning was about to be tested in the ugliest way possible. I wish I could say that Mom's letter was the emotional low point. But no, Vanessa was just warming up. My uncle, the cop, told me, "Change your locks now." He's not a lawyer, but he handles enough domestic chaos to qualify emotionally. He was right. Because 2 days later, a letter arrived from a lawyer. And I use the term, lawyer, loosely. This thing looked like it had been typed on a cereal box. Misspellings, inconsistent fonts, signatures that looked like they were borrowed from a haunted doll. It demanded I discuss asset division. Asset division. We weren't married. We never lived together long term. We had zero shared property. The only thing we shared was a Netflix profile and a bottle of shampoo. Then came the kicker. Vanessa was claiming she had a financial stake in marital assets acquired during the relationship. You know, my mom's house. I sent it to my actual lawyer, who's the kind of woman who could represent you in court while baking a cake and winning both. She laughed out loud. She has no case. None. Less than none. Negative case. Avoid where a case should be. So, do I respond? I'll handle the lawyer. If the lawyer even exists. I'd bet $50 he's getting paid in Starbucks gift cards. Things escalated anyway. Because her lawyer dropped her within a week. But she didn't drop the harassment. She started calling my relatives, trying to recruit them like she was assembling a pyramid scheme of Avengers. She told my dad's cousin I stole her future. She told my sister she deserved half the house because they were practically married. She told anyone listening that I was mentally unstable from grief. My sister told her to lose her number. My cousin asked her if she'd fallen and hit her head on a budget legal textbook. Then she started showing up. My apartment. Mom's house. My office. Yes, she walked into my workplace. Past reception. Past HR. Straight into my cubicle. We need to talk. No, you need to leave. I'm not leaving until you're reasonable. My boss came out of his office like a confused Labrador. Ma'am, you can't be in here. This is between us. Security escorted her out while she called me a thief, a liar, a scammer, a con artist, like she was testing synonyms in real time. Boss pulled me aside afterward. Is she gonna kill me? No, she's just intense. Document everything, he said like he'd been waiting years to say it. Then came the police report. Yep. She filed one. She claimed I stole her grandmother's bracelet from our shared home. We never shared a home. I'd already given her every one of her belongings back. In boxes. With her mother signing a receipt. The officer recognized me immediately. You got that receipt? I handed it over. Great. I'm filing this as unfounded. Also, heads up, she's escalating. Keep documenting. And she did escalate. Facebook posts. Instagram stories. Her mother posting about how I was raised wrong. That one got my aunt involved, and trust me, you do not want to activate my aunt. Then she started contacting every wedding vendor we'd ever emailed. Every single one. Told them I owed money. Told them I was avoiding my responsibilities. Told them to bill me for her deposits. They all called me. I explained. Every single one said some version of, "Oh. Wow. Good luck, man." And then came the part that finally sent a chill down my spine. Realtors started calling. Hi, Ethan, following up on your inquiry about selling your property at. I froze. I never contacted a realtor. Oh. Someone called using your name. She was trying to list my mom's house for sale. Behind my back. Using my identity. That was the moment I finally understood. Vanessa wasn't heartbroken. She was trying to turn my grief into a business model. And she wasn't done yet. If part 4 was the tornado forming, part 5 is where it touched down and started launching cows, lawn furniture, and my remaining sanity into the sky. The insurance fiasco hit next. Vanessa had been on my health insurance through my job, domestic partner coverage. I dropped her right after the funeral. HR processed it immediately. But of course she called them. Hi, yes, my fiancé accidentally removed me while grieving. Please reinstate me. HR. Ma'am, he filed the paperwork personally. He's not thinking clearly. His mom just died. HR. Ma'am, everything is properly documented. Coverage ended because the relationship ended. This is illegal. HR hung up and called me. Thought you'd want to know she tried to override your paperwork. At this point, I was grieving mom, dealing with estate stuff, supporting my siblings through their grief, and on top of it all fighting off a woman who apparently thought I was her personal ATM with a pulse. My lawyer called the next afternoon. She's trying again. Oh God. What now? She found a new lawyer. Wants half the house. Says you verbally promised it to her. Claims there was an oral contract. An oral contract? For my inheritance? Yes. Apparently your mother's death was a legally binding business opportunity. I think I actually choked on my coffee. What do we do? Nothing. If she files, we crush it. But she won't, she doesn't have money for a real case. These budget lawyers quit faster than bad Tinder dates. 2 weeks later? No lawsuit. Just more harassment. Phone calls. Random numbers. Voicemails crying, screaming, bargaining, ranting. Then the gifts. Packages started showing up at my apartment. Cheap jewelry, stuffed animals, cards with "I miss you" written inside like a serial killer trying to be romantic. I returned them all marked. Not at this address. Then she escalated again. She started parking outside my apartment. Not walking up. Not knocking. Just sitting there. For hours. I'd go outside to get groceries. There she was. I'd take out the trash. There she was. I'd come home from work. There she was. Like a hallucination that paid rent on my stress levels. I finally called the non-emergency police line. They sent a unit. She drove off the moment she saw them. Next day? She came back. Second officer warned her. Third time? He told her one more appearance equals harassment charges. She finally stopped coming. But then she weaponized her entire contact list. Her cousins called me. Her coworkers called me. Her childhood best friend's boyfriend called me. All with the same script. You're being unreasonable. She made one mistake. She deserves half the house. Be a man and fix it. Block. 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 Then her father called. He'd barely spoken to me in 2 years. Suddenly he was a philosopher of property rights. You need to do right by my daughter. Your daughter said my mom dying was perfect timing. That was one comment. That one comment told me everything I needed to know. You're being vindictive. No. I'm being done. Blocked. Eventually I had to deal with the house. My siblings and I sat in Mom's living room, soft lighting, her favorite blanket still folded on the couch, and decided together, none of us could live there. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Too many memories. Too much grief. We listed it. 1 week. Cash offer. $288,000. Done. When it finally sold, I split some with my siblings. Mom didn't require it in the will. But it felt right. They had been there for everything, and the three of us had survived a storm together that none of us asked for. The money hit my account, and I paid off my car. Put the rest away. I expected to feel relief. Instead, it was like closing a chapter one never wanted to finish. But I wasn't prepared for what happened when Vanessa found out. Vanessa found out the house sold the same way raccoons find trash cans, by sheer persistence and terrible life choices. I assumed she drove past and saw the sold sign, because that night my phone buzzed from an unknown number. "Hope you choke on that money you stole from me." I screenshotted it from my lawyer, blocked the number, and sat back on the couch, staring at the empty space where Mom's favorite lamp used to sit. I wasn't even angry. Just tired. A few days later, Vanessa's best friend texted me again. She's not doing well. She kept missing work for the legal stuff. They fired her. She's living with her parents now. I typed back, "Not my problem." The friend replied, "I know." And that was that. Grief for Mom still hit in ambushes. Finding one of her annotated books. Seeing her handwriting on a grocery list. Hearing a song she loved in the produce aisle and having to pretend I had something in my eye. Some days I was fine. Some days I couldn't get out of bed. My siblings and I texted every morning, just a, "You up?" or, "Need anything?" My aunt called every week with a pot of soup and a story about Mom I'd never heard. My dad, who I hadn't been close with since the divorce, showed up to help pack the house. Didn't say anything profound. Just worked. Sat with me. Ate pizza. Talked about her. It was the first real conversation we'd had in years. Sometimes loss repairs things you didn't know were broken. Work gave me time off. Coworkers pretended not to notice when I zoned out. My boss just said, "Take the time you need." That meant more than any sympathy card. I didn't think about dating. Not out of pain, just emptiness. Like my heart was a house undergoing renovation and the floors weren't safe to walk on yet. The wedding would have been next month. I realized that one morning while brushing my teeth. Paused. Stared at myself in the mirror. And whispered, "Thank God." Because I didn't dodge a bullet. I dodged a missile with Wi-Fi and lip gloss. Mom's letter. I framed it. It sits on my desk. Whenever I start doubting myself, wondering if I overreacted, I read it. She wrote about Vanessa measuring curtains with her eyes. And somehow, she saw the truth before I did. A woman who loves you would care about you, not what you can give her. Perfect timing. Those two words live in my head now. Not as trauma. As clarity. My sister asked me the other day if I regretted anything. Not ending it, I said. Just not seeing who she was sooner. And she nodded. Both things can be true. Vanessa's mom called one last time from a new number. "You destroyed my daughter's life. She had everything planned. Your daughter said my mom's death was perfect timing," I told her. At the funeral. In front of everyone. She made one comment. No. She made one confession. Everything after just proved it. I hung up. Blocked her too. That night my uncle stopped by with 2 beers. We didn't talk much. Just sat on the porch where Mom used to drink her morning tea. "You good?" he finally asked. "Getting there." He nodded. "Your mom would be proud. You didn't let anyone push you around. Most people fold. You didn't. It didn't feel heroic. It felt like survival. But maybe that's enough. Sometimes I think about the $85,000 wedding venue Vanessa drooled over. The one she thought Mom's death would pay for. I wonder if she still drives past it. If she still believes she was owed something. But honestly, I don't care. Mom's gone. That's the real loss. Everything else is just noise. And I'm still here. Still moving forward. One day at a time. Without someone who saw my mother's death as a business opportunity. And that, quietly, steadily, is enough.